Alrighty, hey everyone. Today we're with Lindsay Bot, who's been a killer agent with us for a little bit now. Lindsay, Happy New Year's and welcome to the call. How you
Thank
doing?
you. Good. How are you?
Good, good. Things have been super busy. And honestly, we'll jump straight into here, Lindsay. I know you had some pretty good results recently and a couple more people working, which we'll discuss. But yeah, everyone that I talk to on these types of calls, I always start off with one question, right? Like before working with our team at Agent Launch Hub, what was your business like day to day? Was there something specific you were struggling with that we kind of addressed, or what was the day to day looking like in general?
Yeah, I think realistically, before joining Agent Launch Hub, our day-to-day was a lot slower. I think my biggest concern was as a new agent, I didn't necessarily have that big list of people with their names and their contact info that I could connect with who were maybe looking to buy or sell, without like going out every day and door knocking or doing my own ads or stuff like that. So I do think since joining Agent Launch Hub and getting all those leads in, our lead gen has been more robust, and contacting those people really fills our day, which is awesome.
Yeah, was there any like specific frustration or things that you tried in the past that didn't really work to standard that you wanted it to? Or was this kind of your first venture off into the online marketing world?
Yeah, this was kind of my first venture, I would say.
Which is good. A lot of agents hop into the world of online marketing. You hear a lot of horror stories where they go through 9, 10 months, even a year, no closings go through the door. They hop from system to system and they ultimately land nowhere, right? Which leaves them with a lot
Mhm.
of skepticism. Like on that topic of skepticism, was there anything that made you hesitate or feel unsure before moving forward with us?
I do feel like I also heard those stories from other agents where maybe they hired a company and then the leads that came in were low quality or their contact info was not right or they couldn't get in touch with them. So I do think that created a little bit of hesitation. But I do find the leads here to be generally very high quality.
Yeah. And that's the importance of pixel conditioning. Obviously, it's not something that we concern our agents with, but just in general, Meta has all these data points with any single person that's on their platform. They have around 50,000 data points on each person. Now, again, this isn't something we explain to every agent, but just so everyone knows, like that's why now your quality is getting better as time goes on, right? When you first launch an ad set, it'll be wide, it'll go to a bunch of people. Also for you, we're not just doing a quick little instant form, right, where they just have to put name, number, email. We do ask a question or two as well, right, to make sure that these people, there's actually friction between them speaking with you, right? And there's a vetting process that happens before. So no other marketing in the past. You mainly just cold calling or door knocking, or you didn't even really jump into that fully.
No, yeah, mainly just cold calling and door knocking.
Got it. And once things got going, what kind of felt different about Agent Launch Hub compared to like the traditional approach that you were doing in the past?
I think the kind of like robustness of the platform, it's very easy to use, first off, and then the amount of leads that came in um really just like allowed me time to call rather than sit down for 5 seconds, call my four leads that I collected last week, and then move on with my day. Like this was, we can sit down for a couple of hours, really deep dive, have conversations with these people and really work on that lead gen, which is awesome.
Yeah. And I know you and Steve are both working together on it. Obviously,
Mhm.
he's busy. You guys are currently running a team still, or what's the structure now?
It's just the two of us. Yeah.
Okay, just the two of you. Nice. Now, with your business in general, what would you say has happened since working with our team at Agent Launch Hub? Like what's changed?
I think again with the robustness, like it has brought a lot of, I think, confidence to the business because we are able, or myself, because obviously Steve's been doing this a lot longer than I have, but with myself, it brings a lot of confidence to kind of practice those scripts and practice those conversations, and then to have people move into buying and selling again, just to kind of like hone your craft with new people who maybe aren't your friends and we're going to work with you anyways, is great.
Awesome. And can you share with everyone what you've currently closed or currently have in motion right now as well with any other potential?
Yeah, we have like two pending deals as of right now. And then I would say probably in the next quarter, maybe we have like 4 or 5 buyers coming up, which is very exciting.
Nice. Yeah, and that's even with the ad spend that we've done so far, the return is pretty good. Let's dive into that a little bit as well. So I think recently your listing finally sold, which we were waiting for a while. What was the logistics of that one? What'd you sell that one at?
We sold it at 8:15, which is awesome, but we listed at 8:30, so we negotiated a bit. But we were on the market for 3 months, so I'm pretty thrilled we only negotiated 15,000.
Yeah. Yeah, 15,000 price drop over 3 months. And I think you mentioned you sold that one at 3.5, right? 3.5%.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then just today, before we hopped on here, we discussed it was still conditional prior, but today you've it's pending now, the purchase.
Yeah, we firmed up on like their purchase last night,
Nice.
so that
Was
was
that
good.
a condo or what was that?
It's a stacked town. So she bought it for 400,
Nice.
which is great. Yeah.
Nice. So around like roughly on this transaction, both sides almost 30K in GCI or
Yeah, I would say so.
okay, nice. So even that, looking at our ad spend, we are well past the 17x return on ad spend. That's something I was just looking at yesterday. I didn't know the like confirmed logistics on the one you guys had bought. But now looking at it, because if you made around 8 to 10K on the purchase of her home, this was a divorce listing, right?
Yeah, it was.
Got it. Yeah. And I'm glad you got her into the right home as well.
Mhm.
How does your pipeline feel compared to before? I know before you mentioned it was door knocking. I think one thing you mentioned, which I wanted to speak about, was a little bit more confidence, right? The consistency. With that, how does it like change your day to day, knowing that, okay, I should have these closings coming up, or I should have this coming into my pipeline soon?
It feels a lot more, I want to say relaxed almost, like as that confidence comes and as those closings are coming kind of down the pipeline, it feels like I can kind of let go of like needing a commission and necessarily like just help other people and have those nice conversations and build your community. So I think that has been the big difference is just knowing that these closings are coming and actually having people to work with just allows us like to kind of settle into the role and enjoy the career a bit more.
Exactly. And that's kind of my next question as well. A lot of agents, they come in wearing all these different hats in their business. And the big problem is they focus on one thing. They try to build a tech stack here. They have 5 different systems that are working, but they're not coexisting, right? They're just all over the place. Now, with our system, we like to have everything streamlined into one platform. With that being said, like, has this allowed you to focus on something else that you've wanted to focus on your business? I know you mentioned you're a little bit newer in the game, but has this opened up doors for you to focus on other things within real estate as well?
I think I would say yes. I do think like in terms of our lead gen strategies, like I always try to have kind of three on the go. So these online ads are one of them. And then we still do our door knocking and then we still do our open houses. So I do think it has allowed us to kind of like move more into how can we do better open houses? How can we bring more people into those? Because we know that this silo of our lead gen is performing very well.
Exactly. And it all comes down to collecting the emails or the names, right? If you can collect the names and emails, we can even use the people you're door knocking for retargeting on the back end, which is what a
Mhm.
lot of agents don't know. Now, what difference did it make focusing on like a specific niche instead of trying to market to everyone? I know you mentioned this is like your first time jumping into the online marketing world. But one thing a lot of agents do when they jump into it, they just get someone to run a very general campaign that goes after anyone and everyone, right? Yours, we did specify a little bit here as well. So what difference has that really made? I know it's hard to compare because you haven't really done any high volume ones in the past, but speaking a little bit more on that, what do you think? Like focusing on a specific niche rather than marketing to everyone.
I think again, it allows you to build confidence and really hone your skills because you know that this group of people that we're marketing to generally have all of the same questions and generally are facing the same hardships. So by marketing to them, like I feel like I can be a better agent because I actually know the answers rather than needing to know everything about everything.
Exactly. And I think that's one big thing we discussed with you. You came in, you wanted to focus on that first time home buyer approach as well. right? Which is what a lot of people came in for. We picked up a divorce listing on top of that, right? But that first time home buyer market, when you're serving a certain market and really just angling yourself as the go-to agent for that, that's where you
Mhm.
start standing out and people want to work with you based on intent, right? Not just they're not clicking your ad based on curiosity, right? It's based on intent because you really connected with them on the message that we put out.
Mhm.
And who would you say like Agent Launch Hub in general is perfect for?
Ooh, good question. I do think it's probably really good for those people who maybe are just starting and they're really trying to build something. Not to say that like established agents can't use it, but I do think just the biggest difference is actually having leads to call and leads to work with. Whereas I think most established agents hopefully have a big database and they have those people. So we're kind of like building that base at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And if there was another agent out there who was on the fence with all of this, what would you tell them?
I think I would tell them that it's worth it. I think realistically, before we committed, there was kind of like that thought process of what if it doesn't work, or what if we don't get leads, or what if the leads aren't good? Like I would say that it's probably worth the chance because we've done now 2 deals and there are more coming.
Awesome. Yeah, and last but not least here, knowing what you know now, would you go back in time and make that same decision again to work with us?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. With that being said, Lindsay, I appreciate everything we've worked on here. Looking forward to scaling up even more. I know even the time that we worked, it was a pretty weird market, to be honest. And I'm hoping 2026 brings on a much, much better market. Lead costs are going to drop. January, we're already seeing a lot of people coming through the door, right? So that's something we're going to continue to focus on and get those people closed throughout 2026.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah,
We'll keep
thank you.
connecting and hopefully 2026 we'll bring in a couple more deals as well.
Yes, hopefully.
Thanks. See ya.